for my next review, I'd like to talk about a 3DS game that is so horrible, so terrible, and a disgrace to the series that it came from, that it was basically the sole reason why I didn't buy a 3DS for so long. I'm MattCraft.derp, and I'll see you guys next time in my review of... No more putting up with this game's crap. It's time I finally show the world how horrible of a game this is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm MattCraft.derp, and this is my review of Mario Kart 7 for the Nintendo 3DS. I despise everything about this game. Or most things. And this hatred goes as deep as the mere title of the game. 7? Since when are we numbering the games? They could have called it Mario Kart 3DS, or even just Mario Kart 3D, as redundant as that sounds. Even the eShop description is wrong. The newest installment of the fan-favorite Mario Kart franchise brings Mushroom Kingdom racing fun into glorious 3D. Hasn't it been in 3D since, I don't know, the first game in the series? And if you don't count that, then you can't deny that Mario Kart 64 had 3D environments. Brings it into 3D my ass. Back to the number thing though. Are we just gonna ignore the two arcade games? I know that not many people played them, but I played Mario Kart Arcade GP once, and it's a damn good game. So as far as I'm concerned, this game is Mario Kart 9. Hell, the title even influenced the next game, Mario Kart 8. Couldn't call it Mario Kart U or Mario Kart Wii U. No, let's just continue the trend set by the worst game in the series. I promise you, if the next game is even called Mario Kart 9, I'm never playing a Mario Kart game again. Ever! And this is just because of the title of the game. I don't care how nitpicky that is. It makes me angry. But now, for the game itself. So the modes in this game are Grand Prix, Time Trial, Balloon Battle, and Coin Battle. Pretty standard for a Mario Kart game, right? What's not here? Versus Mode. You know, a staple of every single Mario Kart game since DS. And I know that's only 2 games, but if DS could do it, then this game should be able to as well. I mean, it works with Battle Mode. I can pick whichever stage I want, set the CPU difficulty, optionally have teams, but I can't do this with the regular stages. If I want to play one specific stage without having to go through the entire cup, I have to do Time Trial. But in Time Trial, there are no items or CPUs, so if I want those, I have to go into Grand Prix and do the entire cup. Oh, but it's not that bad. Yes, it is! Say I wanted to move at a faster pace, so I set the engine class to 150cc, but I don't want difficult CPUs, so I set them to normal. Nope, can't do that. Say I couldn't control my kart in 150cc, so I set the engine class to 50cc. But I still want a challenge from the CPUs, so I set them to hard. Nope, can't do that either. 50cc is easy, 100cc is normal, and 150cc is hard. There's no changing that. And you have to do the entire cup to play a specific stage with CPUs and items. The only time you can specify these things is in local multiplayer or online. But remember, online, there's a vote on the stage. Your choice could mean nothing. And if you're not hosting the room, you can neither set the engine class or the difficulty of the CPUs, nor even if there will be CPUs. Oh, it's still not that big of a deal. Yes, it is! And I'll go into more detail on this at the end of the video. But Jesus! Versus Mode should be here! It was the first thing I looked for in Mario Kart 8, and thank God it was back. Versus Race is back. So happy. You see that? That was my first time playing. Versus Mode is essential. Oh my god, I haven't even started playing it yet. So the starting characters you have available to you are Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Bowser, Donkey Kong, Toad, and Koopa. Hey, just like in Super Mario Kart. Wait a minute. Additional characters are unlocked by completing 150cc cups in Grand Prix mode. Not like there's any other mode. But I like to start with 50cc, so let's go over the courses, shall we? But first, something new that was added to the game. This is the first in the Mario Kart series to have customizable karts. You can unlock new wheels, gliders, and kart bodies randomly by getting certain numbers of coins, which I'll go over in a minute. I like this change, as it gives the stats from previous games actual purpose, which they definitely needed here, since there's no bike like in Mario Kart Wii. The first course in the Mushroom Cup is Luigi Circuit? No, it's actually Toad Circuit. But it plays like a Luigi Circuit. Look guys, I know you were trying to be original with the whole name change thing, but I'm not an idiot. Still could have done something original. Like that. The first thing you'll notice while playing the game is that the graphics are much better than they were in DS. Maybe even Wii for that matter. However, unlike Wii, and more like DS and its predecessors, there are only 8 racers at once. This is fine, even though Wii had 12. It kinda spoiled me a bit. So there are a few different ways to play the game. One is the normal way, like in Mario Kart DS, where the L button uses items and the R button drifts. However, I feel like drifting is finally perfected in this game. In Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart Super Circuit, since the game was at an odd perspective, drifting was always a bit wonky. In Mario Kart 64, letters of different colors popped up, and I never felt like I could adjust my angle or speed while doing it. In Double Dash, everything felt a bit too heavy for my liking, and drifting felt way too particular with how it worked. In DS, there was snaking, and we all know how broken that was. We almost fixed the problem, but things still felt kinda heavy like in Double Dash, and snaking was still kinda possible like in DS. In 7, drifting is represented by a spark, and is really easy to adjust the width or sharpness of a turn while you're doing it. Another difference from DS is that you can no longer use the D-pad to control your character. You have to use the circle pad. A lot of people think this was a good change, but I never saw a problem with the D-pad. Of course, going back to DS games on my 3DS, the circle pad works a lot better. But that's only because, for whatever reason, they made the D-pad stiff as hell. How many 3DS games even use this thing? Barely any! Why? Because they made it impossible to use. Not only that, but it's been slightly lowered so it's not perfectly across from the A, B, X, and Y buttons. It feels so uncomfortable to use now, even on DS games, when on an actual DS, DS Lite, or DSi, it feels perfectly fine. But even if for some reason you wanted to use the D-pad, you can't. It makes you use the circle pad. So what does the D-pad do? Well, if you hit up, it puts you in first person mode. Okay, who thought this was a good idea? It plays like Wii where you tilt the system to turn, but unlike Wii, you're not doing this with a separate controller. When you tilt, the screen tilts with you, so it makes it impossible to see. What a useless addition. Mechanics-wise, the game plays better than Wii, but now that 8 is out, that means jack crap. The 3D effects are pretty good, but with how the game works, they can be really distracting when you look at it from a slightly wrong angle, and everything becomes blurry. The only reason to even turn on the 3D effects would be if you have a new 3DS, which has face tracking, which is nice. So as I mentioned earlier, you unlock new kart parts randomly by collecting certain amounts of coins. Coins are scattered all throughout the courses, giving you very minor speed boosts when you collect them. You can only hold 10 in one race, and you lose 3 every time you get hit with an item or fall off the course. So that means you can only get 40 max for every cup. That seems like a lot, but it's really not, and I'll explain why this is a bad thing at the end of the video. This game also has some new items that weren't in previous installments, such as the Fire Flower, which lets you shoot fireballs at opponents, the Super Leaf, which gives your cart a tail that lets you spin out other opponents and destroy items on the track, and the Lucky 7, which gives you 7 items: a banana, a green shell, a red shell, mushroom, star, blooper, and bob-omb. This is a neat item, since CPUs can't use it and you only get it when you're far behind, but it's impossible to use strategically because if an opponent bumps into you, they can use up half your items in one go. Your best bet is to mash the L button as soon as you get it, which only really amounts to getting a star. The Thundercloud, Pow Block, and Mega Mushroom from Wii are nowhere to be found, which is kinda disappointing, but really no big deal. But interestingly enough, the fake item boxes are also not here, when they've been in nearly every installment in the franchise. The blue shell also works a bit differently than it has in the past few games. Now it travels on the ground, like in Mario Kart 64, and it can hit multiple people on the way to first place. You could see this as being more useful, but I hate it when I'm randomly blindsided by one when I'm not even in first place. The most obvious change is the addition of gliding and underwater segments. The gliding actually controls surprisingly well, and the underwater segments are a nice change of atmosphere in some stages. So I won the first course and got 10 points. Nice. Second place got 8, third got 6, fourth 5th. Wait a minute, why did 8th place get a point? He lost. He got dead last. He may not have even finished the race. He doesn't deserve a point. Every other Mario Kart game got this right, but not this one. No, let's show mercy to the person who probably can't even drive in the right direction. As for the rest of the Mushroom Cups courses, Daisy Hills is pretty original, and Cheep Cheep Lagoon does a good job of introducing underwater gameplay. But then we have Shy Guy Bazaar. This stage is very reminiscent of Super Mario Bros. 2, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you're about to notice a trend with these stages. After winning the Mushroom Cup, I noticed that I had 3 stars from getting first in all of the courses. It's good to know that the system's fixed from previous games, but I'm still not entirely sure how it works. I once got 5th in one course, which I thought would screw me, but I still got a star. It almost seems like you can't get first overall without getting at least 1 star, which is nice. I even got a star once for getting 2nd. How does that work? The Flower Cup opens up with Woohoo Loop, the first of a new series of stages that are only 1 lap, but split into 3 segments. This isn't a bad thing, as it gives room for more course. But you know what this stage is based on? Wii Sports Resort. Why? Who thought, hey, you know what needs to cross over with Mario Kart? Wii Sports Resort. That's dumb. Why would you think that? There is a neat little cameo of a Koopa Clown car, though. Mario Circuit. This stage rocks. You actually get to go inside Peach's castle and drive up some stairs instead of just seeing it in the background. How neat. Music Park. I hate this stage. You know what it's based on? Wii Music. Wii freaking Music. Who was the idiot who thought, hey, you know it needs to cross over with Mario Kart? Wii Music. No, that's dumb. I can look past Wii Sports Resort because at least it makes a good stage, but this does not. There's a section where you're turning alongside a piano, and there's railing at the edge of it to ensure you don't fall off, but it doesn't work. The gap between the piano and the railing is just wide enough where you can still fall in. That's bad course design. And it's based on Wii Music. Who thought that was a good idea? Rock Mountain is a cool stage, though. You're basically driving up and down and all around a huge mountain and a forest behind it, and I love it. The atmosphere looks really good, and the gliding sections have really breathtaking views. So on to the Star Cup. Piranha Plant Slide pays homage to Super Mario Bros. 1, and it really feels like I'm playing through 1-2, with an added underwater section. Wario Shipyard references the Wario Land series, which is an odd choice, but not as bad as Wii freaking Music. Neo Bowser City is a not-so-obvious reference to the Valley of Bowser and final level of Super Mario World. I think it's nice. Maka Woohoo, another Wii Sports Resort stage. And this one is segmented too! It even has a glitch in single player that lets you skip half the course. Attention to detail? Not in this game. On to the Special Cup. DK Jungle is clearly a reference to Donkey Kong Country Returns, even having some of those tiki enemies from that game. You can also see DK's house from Jungle Hijinks. Rosalina's Ice World is a pretty cool stage, as it takes place in the Cosmic Cove Galaxy from Mario Galaxy 2, and even has the Comet Observatory covered in snow. Also there's Tuxies. How adorable. Bowser's Castle in this game seems to be a reference to 8-4 from Mario 1. It even has an underwater section, which doesn't make sense at first until you get the reference. It's really genius when you think about it. The new Rainbow Road is segmented like the Wii Sports Resort stages, and it's kinda cool because you can actually see and go to different planets. There's even one section where you're driving on the rings of Saturn. That's so cool! There's also this part on the moon with craters and bouncing chain chomps and lower gravity, and oh, I love it! As for the retro stages, most of them I'm okay with. Both Luigi Raceway from 64 and Luigi's Mansion from DS are in the Shell Cup. kind of an odd choice to have two Luigi-themed courses in the same cup, but whatever. The stages from Wii like Mushroom Gorge and Koopa Cave work really well, which is pretty surprising to be honest. Waluigi Pinball from DS is also a stage, but you know what's dumb? You know who's not a playable character? Waluigi. That's right, Waluigi is not playable in this game. Yet Waluigi Pinball was included as a stage. What the hell? Waluigi's been in every game since Double Dash. Even DS. That's dumb.
Oh god, I don't know who to play as. Yes, I do, my bro Waluigi. There's no reason he was not in Mario Kart 7. No reason.
Maple Treeway from Wii is also a stage. This isn't inherently a bad thing, but just remember it for now. One thing that does grind my gears, however, is SNES Rainbow Road. You can't do that, Mario Kart 7. Mario Kart games can only have one Rainbow Road, and that's their own. The only game that was allowed two is Super Circuit, but that's only because that game included every stage from Super Mario Kart in addition to its own stages. So you know what? This stage has technically already been remade. We don't need a second Rainbow Road, much less one that was already remade. Overall, the level design isn't terrible, except in Music Park, but why are all of the new stages based on something else? Couldn't they do anything original? So after getting first place in all 50cc or 100cc cups, you unlock your Mii, but for whatever reason, you can only use the one associated with your Nintendo Network ID account. Also, there's credits as usual, but they decided to make them pre-rendered, and they look terrible. This is the one time where you could actually turn on the 3D effects because you're not using the controls, but they don't even work here. And they're unskippable the first time you see them, so you're out of luck if you just want to keep playing. So while I was going through the 100cc cups, I randomly encountered someone's Mii that joined the race. I found this a bit odd for a few reasons. I wasn't playing online, so the Mii was being controlled by a CPU. As it turns out, this was activated from StreetPass. I didn't see this in my first playthrough because I did it all at home within the span of a few hours. Getting all gold cups in this game really doesn't take that long. Interestingly enough, depending on how you play, your Mii in other people's games could have various different titles and abilities to match them. The one I encountered was a quick starter, meaning he always got the boost at the beginning of the race. Speaking of which, the boost seems much easier to pull off in this game than it did in previous games. Just hold down the acceleration button when the countdown says 2. Simple as that. I didn't find the quick starter to be problematic as most of the CPUs got the boost anyway, but I heard during my research that there's one title that grants the Mii the ability to always get bombs from item boxes and have insanely good accuracy throwing them. That's so broken, why would they think that was a good idea? It never happened to me, but it's dumb that it can happen period. One advantage to this, however, is beating a Mii unlocks one of their cart parts without making you collect more coins. But don't count on exploiting that, because it only happens occasionally. As I said earlier, additional characters are unlocked by getting first in 150cc cups. Of those additional characters are Wario, Daisy, not Waluigi, and Rosalina, returning from Wii. She even has a new voice actor here, which I was against at first, but it really isn't that bad. And that's where the acceptable characters end. With a special cup, you unlock Metal Mario. Metal Mario was actually a fairly popular character back in the day. After being only a form in Mario 64, he became an actual character in Super Smash Bros. And then he was in Mario Golf. And then Dr. Mario 64. And then Super Smash Bros. Melee. And we haven't seen him since. You know why? Because he's a stupid character! All he is a palette swap of Mario. They stopped using him in games because they realized this and moved on. Why is he back? You can see the lack of effort in him here. His voice is literally just Mario's with an echo. That's lazy. And now, because of Mario Kart 7, he was in Mario Tennis Open, and Gold Mario was in Mario Golf World Tour, and then he was back in Mario Kart 8 with Pink Gold Peach. You people do realize that Pink Gold Peach never would have existed if Metal Mario wasn't in this game, right? You know why he wasn't in Mario Kart 64? Or any other Mario Kart game for that matter? Because he's a stupid character. You have to understand where I'm coming from, right? Why would they put an idiotic character like Metal Mario in the game and not leave room for another character like, oh, I don't know, Waluigi? You know, the character who actually has a stage in the game? And he's not even the worst character. You know who is? I'll tell you in a minute. The Shell Cup unlocks Shy Guy, who is only playable through local multiplayer and DS. It's nice that I can actually choose to play as him here, but I think it's a little bit dumb that he's also a stage hazard in Shy Guy Bazaar. So is he a playable character or a stage hazard? Make up your mind, Nintendo. But he's not the worst offender of this. You know who is? Once again, I'll tell you in a minute. Now for that worst character in the game. Honey Queen. You know, from the Mario Galaxy games? Why? That's stupid! No ding. I'm not doing that. Who thought this was a good idea? Alright team, we need ideas for new characters. What about Honey Queen? Who? Oh, you know, the queen bee from the Mario Galaxy games. Genius! Everyone will immediately know who that is. You deserve a promotion. Sir, that idea is absolutely preposterous. Shut up, you're fired! The Leaf Cup unlocks Wiggler, who is also a stage hazard in Maple Treeway, and he's much bigger there. Okay, with Shy Guy this was okay, because he's technically been playable in previous games, but Wiggler should not be both a stage hazard and a playable character. Why didn't they pick a different Wii stage if he was going to be playable? Why didn't they pick a different character if Maple Treeway was going to be a stage? Why not have the freaking old man penguin from the Mario Galaxy games? I'd argue he'd be just as recognizable as the Honey Queen. Or, I don't know, Waluigi? But to be fair, Wiggler is probably my favorite character to play as in the game, because he's just so much fun to watch while you play. He always leans to the side of his cart and sticks his arms out since he drives with his arms on a different segment. Also, he temporarily turns red when he gets hit, which I think is hilarious.
That's a pissed off Wigger. I mean, Jesus!
And finally, the Lightning Cup unlocks Lakitu, who I'm not going to get mad over. Nope. Why is Lakitu a playable character when he's also the referee? This isn't like Wiggler and Shy Guy who are stage hazards in one stage each. No, you see Lakitu in every stage during the race, even when you're playing as him. That's dumb. Lakitu isn't supposed to race. He's supposed to give you the start the race countdown. He's supposed to tell you what lap you're on. He's supposed to put you back on the course when you fall out of bounds. He's supposed to tell you when you're going the wrong way. And he's supposed to tell you finished the course by waving a checkered flag. Not freaking racing himself. I don't care how nitpicky I'm being. This is so stupid. This game has the worst character roster out of any Mario Kart game, period. Including the arcade ones, which had freaking Pac-Man characters. That's it. I'm done. I've unlocked everyone. Now for Mirror Mode. God damn it. So after Mirror Mode, you can see the final credits, which do have different animation, but they're still pre-rendered. So what does it matter? And they're unskippable. Great, not like I just want to continue the game or anything. Not like there's anything left for you to do except collect coins. Oh, wait. So after getting at least 1 star in every cup in Grand Prix mode, you unlock the gold tires. These absolutely break the game. Their stats are super OP, and they make time trials a joke. After unlocking these, there's really nothing left to do besides grind for coins to unlock the rest of the kart parts. You'll have all of them by the time you get to 5,000, except for the gold parts. In order to get the rest of these, you could either do a really asinine task to get them faster, or collect 10,000 and 2,000 coins respectively for the gold glider and gold standard kart body. This is an insane amount that would be easier to obtain if there was a freaking versus mode. Instead, you either have to do the Grand Prix Cups over and over and over again, or you could do Time Trial. Time Trial's a bit different here because you can race 7 ghosts at once, which is kind of neat, but I'd much rather be racing with items against actual CPUs, because Time Trials are boring when the gold tires make all of the courses super easy. The only other way to obtain coins is by playing online, which would be the best option, if anyone still played it. No, see, Mario Kart 8 is out now, so why would anyone play this game when there's a much better alternative? They wouldn't, and they don't, so there's no good way to get coins in this game. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say that this wasn't the most functioning Mario Kart game for its time, but now that Mario Kart 8 is out, its problems really shine. I've even had some people tell me now that they agree with me that 7 is a bad game, but I refuse to acknowledge their opinion because they definitely didn't say that back before 8 came out. I always said this game was bad. Now, people only say it's bad compared to 8. No, that's wrong. It's bad compared to any Mario Kart game. This game completely misses the point of the series. Mario Kart games are supposed to have original levels, a good character roster that doesn't exclude characters that have been in every other freaking game since they became a character. A true Mario Kart game wouldn't have an obscure-ass character like Honey Queen, or a character who's also a stage hazard in one course like Wiggler. It would have very few, if any, levels based on other games in the series, but not games that aren't even in the series like freaking Wii Music or Wii Sports Resort. That's absurd. You know what? Let's just cut to the chase. This is not a good game. If you want to play a recent Mario Kart game, then play Mario Kart 8. If you don't have a Wii U, then get one. It's Christmas, damn it. There's no reason not to. Everything bad about Mario Kart 8 is stuff that's carried over from 7. Except Battle Mode, which is fine in 7, but it sucks in 8. But that's for a review another time. My point is, there's no reason to buy Mario Kart 7. It sucks. It's a disgrace to the Mario Kart series. It doesn't need to exist. I'm MattCraft.derp. And this is the worst 3DS game I've ever played. I'll see you guys next time. Merry Christmas. Rest in Mario Kart 8, Waluigi. And say hi to Ice Climbers for me.